Hello everyone, I'm Phoenix Tremayne, and today I'm going to be giving you your Days of Our Lives week in review. But first, if you haven't done so, please take a minute to subscribe. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Please hit that like button so YouTube knows a good channel for soap fans. Also, we have a membership where you get exclusive videos, early access to videos, spoilers up to a week in advance, and I'm going to be doing some new types of reviews for the channel, which will include shows that I think that the soap fan will like. So this alters the membership because now I'm going to be adding new information for shows I think you like in the membership. So that's, more for you to reason for you to give it a try. So we're going to do this Days of Our Lives week in review for June 7th through the 9th because it's only 3 days this week that the show's on. It's not on Thursday or Friday, so we get to do this early. So and I'm just gonna do it by character, not what happened each day in the week. So we're gonna begin with Sammy, who was trying her best to catch Nicole grilling Allie for info and confronting Nicole directly about her affair with Xander. With the proof that Nicole was not registered at the hotel that night, Nicole had some quick thinking. She had fabricated a fake receipt saying that she did stay at the inn, but it was under the name Basic Black. It wasn't under her name. This temporarily satisfied Sammy, as she didn't really have a comeback for that. Later in the week, Nicole talks to Abe about possibly ending her marriage. Asks him if he wishes he didn't know about Lexi's affair. He says the secret would have destroyed their marriage. Nicole confesses in a text to Eric about her affair, but can't send it. And she does something really stupid. She saves the text to her drafts. So that's how she's going to get caught. I think Eric's going to see her phone. He's going to see that she has this unsent text to him. Or she will accidentally send him the text when she's trying to delete it. Something like that's going to happen. I firmly believe that text is going to be how she actually gets caught. It won't be Sammy that manages to catch her. Sammy also runs into Ava, who threatens Sammy to back away from Nicole. The conversation goes better when they start talking about their connections with Trip, who's dating Allie, and sharing a grandchild. And honestly, I never really realized how connected Ava and Sammy are until this episode, because Ava is really isolated on the show. She only really spends time with Rafe and Nicole. She doesn't even spend time with Trip anymore. Now that the whole Charlie story is over with, and she sort of doesn't have that obsession she had before with she needed to be with Trip, she needed to live with Trip, she needed Trip always by her side. Every other word came out of my mouth was Trip, 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 Trip. That's no longer the case now that the storyline doesn't need it to make Charlie jealous. We're moving on. Sammy would end the week with Lucas making a plea for them to get back together. And just when it seemed like Sammy was going to say yes, there was a doorbell ring. She said, "Oh, it's EJ." And Lucas is like, "You said that last time. It's probably just Rafe again." But when she opens up the door, dun dun dun, it's EJ. And as I predicted last week, he wouldn't have any dialogue. It would just be her opening the door and seeing him. We'll actually get to really get a good feel of the new EJ when he returns on Monday. Gwen and Xander's new romance has started, as the summer preview said. And also I did the summer preview video today, so keep a lookout for that. Members got the summer preview last week. They said that they would not start, the summer preview said that they would start out not liking each other, but that would lead to a spark. Xander and Gwen, when he threatens to tell Jack about the pills he found, she says that it will hurt him. And so when Jack is inquiring what they're fighting about, he decides to keep it a secret. But he decides to also keep an eye on Gwen. When she's late because of Xander, Dr. Snyder calls her. He's upset that she hasn't delivered the pills, threatened to tell her father. That it looks like the deal is over, so she begs him, she'll do it. She's on her way now. Xander eavesdrops and realizes the doctor is the one that's blackmailing her. So he pays him a visit, posing as a patient, and threatens him to leave Gwen alone. Snyder doesn't seem too threatened by Xander, although I think he should be. He needs to go ahead and Google Xander, and he'll realize how much trouble he's actually in. But Snyder does mention that the secret has something to do with her miscarriage. So, Snyder gets mad again, calls Gwen, threatens her, tells her to get Xander to back off. And then she and Xander confront each other once again. And he ends it with saying, yeah, he's blackmailing about that miscarriage secret. She doesn't know that Snyder didn't tell him everything, which means she's going to blab the truth to him probably on Monday or Tuesday, whenever Gwen's next scene is. So then, because I read a spoiler, I can't remember which week it's for, that Xander would blackmail Gwen about her secret. So that's a romance that's on the ready to go on the train tracks. And I want to add that watching Gwen and Xander together, I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks this, I feel like it's the battle of the accents, because the two of them seem to try to make their accents even heavier in their phrases from their respective countries. They kind of put it in there more, like when Gwen was like, I'm just trying to watch the telly. So I'm like, this is going to be interesting having these characters together, just for the simple fact that there are only two people on the show that have accents. Chanel sees Eli naked again, and he thinks that she's at breakfast with Lonnie, but she overslept. It was supposed to be Lonnie and Abe, but she overslept, and so she ends up once again seeing Eli naked because he's wearing nothing but a towel. He spills something, can't find something to wipe it up, so he takes the towel off, thinking he's home alone, and starts wiping the floor, where Chanel gets a good old look at his stuff again. He's mad, but she shows him her book of ideas about her bakery, and he's impressed by it. Lonnie comes home. She's not happy that they're sitting so close together, and tells her to move and sits in between them, and she gives her the stink eye, like, you trying to take my man? Which I have no idea where they're going with Chanel. This is the second time she saw Eli naked. So Chanel is sort of like fluid. I guess bi, but the new word for bi is really fluid. And is she after Allie? Or I should say, is she interested in Allie? Or is she interested in Eli? Maybe they're waiting to see what the fans think. It's more appealing. Fighting her cousin, who's probably her sister, for Eli. Or trying to get Allie from Trip, which we'll talk about in a minute. But along the way, Chanel is excited about her new company, Sweet Bits. She talks to Pauline about it. Pauline is skeptical. She knows she's about to do something that she's not supposed to with the square, so she tries to get Chanel to give up the idea of the bakery. Abe confronts Paulina about not wanting to support Chanel, and she says that she's just afraid that she's going to get hurt and fail, and Abe is like, that's what kids do, that's how they learn. And so Pauline's like, I guess you're right, even though she knows that whatever she's going to do is not going to help diversity in Salem, including her daughter getting a bakery. Later in the week, Paulina pretends to support Chanel and even decides to bake with her the family sweet potato pie recipe. And Chanel's like, I'm going to go buy the ingredients. And the only thing I could think to myself is, with what money? Chanel ain't got a job and her credit cards got cut off by her mother. So with what money is Chanel buying the sweet potato pie ingredients? I was waiting for her to ask her mother for the money, but that didn't happen. Side note, Chanel got into Paulina's new apartment and the silent alarm goes off and Chanel starts to read Paulina's secret plan, but Paulina gets there before she can see too much. Now, this became a little bit of a talk on Twitter because fans pointed out that there were many holes in the scene. How does Chanel get into the apartment? And I added to the conversation that Abe should have gone with her. If a woman tells a man, I might have left my door ajar, the alarm is going off, a real man says, I'm going with you. It would have even been better if he said, I'm going with you, and she was like, no, don't worry about it. I still would have said that he wasn't much of a man because he didn't insist. But the fact that Abe was like, okay, go on ahead to your apartment. Who knows who's in there, but good luck with that. So I kind of lost a little respect for Abe. That was kind of silly. And if you missed it, her apartment number is 227. And we're going to talk about the rest of that situation in the best and worst of the week. When Trip kisses Allie, she has a way out of like left field reaction. She pulls away from him saying she got a flashback of Charlie. And I'm like, when is this happening? She didn't kiss him, I think, at least twice with no Charlie reaction, no Charlie flashback. Although they have kissed before without a reaction, she goes to talk to her grandma, Marlena. And she's like, I kissed the girl. And Marlena's like, Deidre Hall's facial expression has to be seen to be understood. She looks like she's like so over these stories she's getting. She's a team player. She's a professional. But the look on her face was like, I can't describe it. It was like she was just over it. And then, she tells Allie, well, if you like girls, it's okay. I'm not going to judge her or nothing. And because Allie says she's okay with the kiss. She never says Chanel by name, but she says she's okay with the kiss. But she's having a problem with Trip kissing her. Let's put all that together, because even I think last week Chanel was having flashbacks. Allie was having flashbacks about kissing Chanel. So yeah, it looks like the summer preview did say the love triangle is Allie, Trip, Chanel, and we're really getting to see that. Allie did agree to go on a date with Trip, but clearly her working in the bakery with Chanel is going to be bringing them closer together. Trip asked Kayla some advice on how to deal with someone who has suffered the trauma that both her and Allie has suffered. Her best advice to him is really just sort of like take your time and let her sort of like, yes, guide you through it. I'm paraphrasing. But he also tells her that Snyder threatened Gwen. Because Snyder's, is just mean to be mean. Like he tells him about, he's not supposed to be on his coffee break or whatever with Kayla. And he's like, I still got like 20 minutes left. And then he's like, oh, okay. So he tells her about Snyder threatening Gwen. So Kayla confronts Snyder. He sort of like says, there's nothing really going on. Kayla demands to see her file, says she looked it up, it's not in the system, and reminds him that she is the chief of staff and she has the right to see the file. His excuse is he hand wrote it and that he's old school, he hand wrote it, and he just haven't had a chance to put it in the file. So Kayla's like, well, basically hurry up and do it. Off camera, Marlena tells Allie that Belle has been released from prison because we did not see Belle this week, Sean, Ben, Claire, Jan. Because even though Jan is in my coming and goings is going, there is a spoiler that says, I think for next week, that Belle is going to test Jan to see if she's really in a coma. So she's probably going to stick her with a pen or something to see if she's faking it or really in a coma. Now we're going to get to the actor of the week. I put Precious Way Chanel was my actor of the week. It was hard for me to figure out who I wanted to be actor of the week for Days of Our Lives because I felt like everybody was on the same page. Nobody really stood out. I chose Chanel, Precious Way of Chanel, because I never liked the character. And over the last 2 weeks, now that she has like a definitive storyline, I felt like she was just all over the place, and I didn't like her decisions didn't really make sense to me, so I didn't feel like she was a good character. But now that she's having more purpose and it's more streamlined, I'm happy that Chanel's on the show. And then I found out she's leaving the show. So if you want to know the details about Precious Way leaving Days of Our Lives, go on ahead and watch my Coming and Going video, which I'm sure I'm going to link in here somewhere. Or just go to my page and you'll see that my Coming and Goings this week will include Precious Way leaving Days of Our Lives. Now, for the best moment of the week, it was Lonnie sitting in between Chanel and Eli. I had a very hard time trying to find the best moment of the week because I felt like it wasn't a bad week. It wasn't really. It was like an okay week. It was like a more relaxed week. Not a whole lot happened. Storyline advanced just a teeny bit. We got some good character interactions, but I think when they come back from this little break they got, we're really gonna get better stories with EJ now in the cast and other plot lines moving along. Keeping in mind that somebody about to get found in a lake. So, and I'm hoping that the person is gonna be Snyder. Who else? Now we're gonna talk about the worst moment of the week. The worst moment of the week had everything to do with Jack K's character, Paulina. There was sloppy storytelling and directing associated with Paulina. How did Chanel get into her place without a key? Why didn't Abe go with her to check it out? Paulina is supposed to be a millionaire, but her place looked like it was outdated, old. I didn't like any of the furniture. It looked like stuff from the 80s, to be honest with you. 80s, early 90s. I could have saw that place on Golden Girls. It reminds me of like, there's an episode of Golden Girls where Betty White's character, I can't believe it. As much as I've watched the Golden Girls, I'm going blank. But anyway, I just keep thinking Estelle Getty's character, Sophia, Blanche, Rose. Okay. I don't know what's going on with my memory. I think I'm going to take some memory pills or something. But Rose. There's an episode of Golden Girls where Rose has a near-death incident, and she starts doing a lot of crazy things, a lot of partying. And so the girls are like, you can't be partying and bring people here, we're not really comfortable. And so Rose is like, well, screw you, I'm moving out. And she moves out when she gets 2 new roommates by the ocean. And the furniture in Paulina's place, especially that couch, it reminds me of the couch in that episode of Golden Girls where Rose moved out of the house, and with those 2 roommates that didn't care anything about her. But this ain't a Golden Girls review. This is Days of Our Lives. But that's how outdated the couch looked. Also, Paulina's hair. Can we get Jack K a new wig? I think that she would look great in like a little short bob or something, because that wig was looking, I can't even call that a Tyler Perry wig. That wig was looking like something out of Bold and the Beautiful. Because Bold and the Beautiful cannot dress their characters. And the hair, for a show about fashion, Bold and Beautiful is way off when it comes to fashion. The show needs a whole new stylist. And you can tell me in the comment section if you were thinking the same thing, but I hate Paulina's wig. I hate Paulina's place. I love Jack K. I think she's doing a great job on the show. But this woman's supposed to be a multi-millionaire, and this is what she gets? They should have just gave her the set for Ava's place. That would have been more akin to what we'd expect someone with Paulina's status would have. So thank you for watching. I'm Phoenix Tremayne, and I hope to see you in the next video.